go back to work.
That's fine. Welcome to the Scandal Fan Podcast. You almost made me say After Dark. Welcome to the Scandal Fan Podcast. I'm one of your hostesses. I'm Jahna Knight, and I'm joined by two of our outstanding gladiators, soon to be three.
Look at that popping right up on time.
Go ahead, Langston. He's like, I'm Indian Langston here.
Yes, he is.
So we are here. We are live. We're going to be talking about First Lady
Park Manor, actually.
Okay, now I got to mute Langston because he's coming in here talking. Langston, unmute yourself when you're ready. But First Lady Sings the Blues is the episode that we are discussing today. And we are already live with Shane jumping right in there.
Right on.
I'm going to let Eldia handle it.
I think we should just start there since Shane jumped in early. So first comment out the gate comes from Shane B. And he says, so Jesus, I mean, Jake was stabbed 8 times by Russell. Though a trained assassin, he missed all vital organs. Then Jake bled all night on the coffee table, only to be revived with pressure applied to his chest. This is quality writing. I'm done. I can't.
Lord, Scandal did the impossible. They invented a worse spy than Jake Ballard in this Russell guy. Like, dude, are you fucking kidding me? You mean to tell me you thought you killed him after stabbing him everywhere but his heart? Come on.
They should have sent one of the fans and killed Jake off.
But you know, a reaction even worse than Shane's was Papa's when no, he couldn't possibly be dead.
Yeah, because
I'm mad that Olivia didn't think to call him in a panic and pretend at least.
Yeah,
she was too worried about Jake.
Who cares about that chicken-chested man?
I mean, even Quinn didn't really care. Quinn was like, Jake, make a noise. Like, she's like trying to help him out. She was like, make a noise. You okay?
I was with Quinn. Quinn, like, presumed him dead, and I was willing to go with that. And Huck had to come in and huck the situation.
Well, but the one thing that I'm happy of is that Quinn didn't do her typical coffee cup drop.
Oh, yeah.
She did the nail drop this time.
And we're probably going to have to mute a couple of y'all at some point because I keep hearing someone's back noise.
I hear something.
I do too, and I don't know what it is. I'm going to back out and come back in.
Okay. So what was the favorite part for you this episode, Katrina? What were your favorite pieces of the episode? Did you have any? What about you, LD? You as well.
Eldia, you go ahead.
Okay, I think my favorite, I had a few favorite. My favorite, I'm laughing because my favorite obviously was Cyrus and Sally. I mean, I could just watch those two go at it all day. My other favorite scene was actually Cyrus and Fitz and Abby, when Abby was like, well, you know, you need to send Cyrus, and Cyrus looked up like, what, me? Like,
you gotta be kidding.
He was like, you are not going to make me do this. And Fitz was like, you're going to do this. And then he was like, come on, sir, just tell me. Does she have something on you? What is it? He was being held hostage. Yeah, he was like, just tell me. Just please tell me. But,
what is it?
But the Sally and Cyrus scene was that was the highlight for me. That was like pure gold. We've represented many podcasts. We were curious how they were going to bring Sally back. I love the way they brought her back. I love that she has this TV show and she can kind of sit there and say whatever she wants about this administration. And it was so funny when Cyrus pulled the Daniel Douglas card out because I was like, that's low. But it was like so funny.
But it was true. Daniel Douglas was a house husband. Right. Sally was the one making moves and rising on that political ladder towards that bright future, as Melly Graham would say.
Look,
and Douglas was, you know.
Yeah, so it was true.
Y'all hear all of that? Okay.
It might be me. Let me try changing headphones. Go ahead, guys.
I'm going to just mute you while I'm on the mute button today, y'all. I'm sorry. We got to have better audio. So when you saw that Sally was going in on, I look crazy. Why y'all into? Anyway, when you saw,
why are you surprised?
Oh, hush. See, you starting to get in the thing now.
Now wait a minute. You know what? I'm gonna address that in a minute. But you go ahead. Because I don't appreciate. First of all, let me just tell you, I don't appreciate being blamed for something I didn't do, and I also don't appreciate being called that.
Oh my gosh! Oh, I knew that was coming. I didn't have nothing to do with any of that, so you ain't about to address me. You about to address somebody.
I'm about to address you because it was actually you that was doing the interruptions, and I got blamed for it.
Are you gonna unmute Eldia?
The regular
because
the regularity for which we about to have a Scandal podcast fight.
Time out.
But the regularity of which I interrupt people is very minimum compared to the way you interrupt people. So let's not go there. And your voice is louder and deeper than mine.
Okay.
I just try to interrupt so I can ask questions. That's pretty much it.
Okay.
But anyway, it was a whole 10 minutes of Jaha interruption.
It had nothing to do with me. Thank you very much.
Okay.
See how you dragged me in that? I wasn't even in that conversation.
I don't even know what you guys are talking about.
Right? And on top of it,
topic.
I tagged you so you could address it. So if I didn't tag you would have never known that it was there.
And I did address it.
We're having an after you get off air fight on air. So we'll
no, this ain't even about you, so I don't even.
So why am I in this? I'm not in this, y'all. I don't have
And your favorite moment, Katrina, was?
Yeah. Are you done with your moment?
Yeah.
You said Sally. Oh, you said yeah. My favorite moments were actually in addition to the one you stated with Sally and Cyrus. Like I miss them so much. They're oh my God. Their tiffs, their pettiness, I love them. Anyway, so besides that, I got my whole entire life from the last scene because I was like, yes, bitch, finally! Use the weapons of seduction and get this shit moving. Bye, Russell.
Yes.
And,
hating on Jaha's man chocolate.
And,
Russell, look, after Russell ineffectually killed Jake, he is no longer my favorite man.
You can't go up for him after that.
He had effectively murdered Jake on the table. Like you murked this dude and dragged him onto a table.
Look, this is what I was like. Did he just get out of B613 training? He just got his training wheel taken off.
He's newer than Quinn. He's newer than Quinn.
I mean, Quinn was better than that. Well, she had a master training her. Like,
not really, because Quinn, when Huck came in and tried and scared her, she did shoot up in the sky. I was like,
well, he's scared. Yeah, he did. She's a little. Well, she's rusty. She's been out of the game. Well, no, she's not. She just like fluffing your lap. What am I talking about?
She don't qualify for nothing. Charlie let her know real quick.
Oh no, Charlie was trying to save her. He was trying to save her though. He was like, she ain't been in long enough.
Yeah, she's innocent. Don't look at her. Leave baby girl alone. No. Okay, so and of course. Oh no. Let's not talk about scene because it's actually favorite line. So we'll get there. So yeah, I said out of everything, Cyrus and Sally, and then the very last scene. The Olitz phone call was interesting too. It wasn't like, overwhelming. There was some progress there, and I liked that, but it wasn't like amazing, for me or anything.
Right.
So how did that get to be one of your favorite scenes if it wasn't amazing?
Langston, you ready?
No, because right now you guys are so loud.
Because there's been a deficit for so long, so I had to.
I'm going to go ahead and jump in with the Q&A app then. Kamara Harrington said, welcome back, Jaha, carry on. Shane B said, what's up, Kamara? And then Kamara said, hey, Shane. So we got our people interacting back and forth. And then Shane said, my favorite moment was the closing credits at the end of the show.
Wow.
I think that's a little harsh, Shane.
Shane, you are a hater. Okay, so look, I'm sorry.
There's a lot of Jake's sympathy for the episode, so of course he didn't go up for it, and too much of Rowan. So Shane wasn't going to go up for you. Hey, Shane, I feel you, boo. I felt very disconnected. I was irritated 80% of the episode. Everybody except for Cyrus and Sally got on my nerves at one point. Everybody.
But I just want to say that, look, when the episode aired Thursday last night, I had so many tweets on the Scandal Podcast Twitter line. I knew that the episode was going to be some bullshit because I usually watch the episodes on Fridays, so I just knew it. I was like, this is going to be bad because they're already going in. Here Shane is in the comments on last night talking about Scandal ABC. Please move Scandal to 11 a.m. to 12 noon Monday through Friday where it belongs. Just stupid. And then DC Diva says to Shane, your bitterness is showing. Go pack a box and hush. Shane goes, and now we understand the decline of Scandal's soap opera style writing. And then he says, since Scandal ABC has gone daytime soap opera on us, when does How to Get Away with Murder come back? Then he tweeted Sophia Stanley and said, writing is for shit. And then he said, then DC Diva jumped back in and said, no, we don't. You are upset. I'm very happy and glad Jake is alive. I am so over your whining. Blah.
Yeah.
They went back and forth. It was hilarious. He says, go get blood, any kind of blood. Doesn't matter the type. Bad writing. Ooh. And then DC Diva says, your lack of health knowledge.
Well, of course they would have gotten his blood type. They just didn't include that detail.
Yeah.
They were picking out certain bags of blood. So of course.
She says, O works for all. Again, pack a box and hush. So she's telling Shane to just go away from the fandom since he is complaining about the show. So
I kind of agree with Katrina though. I feel like the last couple episodes, I would say since they've come back from hiatus, it's been super bad. There's not been, you know what I mean? It's like, and I feel like
last episode
Katrina
was
saying,
right?
I'm like super bad. Like where that come from?
Not super bad, but you know what I mean.
This one was
they're
annoying.
Like everything works or
important.
Everything is a miss, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like I agree with Katrina, like every character last night at one point, that would be a good way of putting it. Like they were all getting on my nerve and I was like, why are you speaking? Shut up.
Why are you doing this? What is going on with this? Just shut up. Really? Are we doing this?
Yeah.
Who wrote the episode? Who wrote last night's episode?
Paul William Davies, which, I'm not a huge fan of his as a writer. I mean, he's okay. He's not like, I have my faves, Mark Fish, Matt Byrne, oh my God, what's her name? Jenna Bands, Miss Jenna Bands, love her. And Z-Terps, but what's his actual name? I forget his name. That's his Twitter name. But yeah, and Rama sometimes, is good. But, there's some people when they write them, okay.
If you are now joining the Scandal Podcast, you can chat back with us by tweeting us at Scandal Podcast. And you can also chat back with us by clicking the button on the front of the screen. It should say Q&A, and you can chat that way or make comments in the section of Google, whatever. It's just as long as we can see them, we'll read them out on air. Eldia, please read the comments that we have thus far.
Yes. So Kamara is chiming in again. She said, my favorite, I guess she's on favorite moment, was the Sally and Cyrus scene, the Olitz phone call, and Daddy P shooting Russell. And
I forgot that one. Yes, I wanted to mention that.
I was like, and you just got shot. Like, did you not see that coming?
And he just did it so smooth, too.
Now she'll come on.
And then Shane B says, thank you, Katrina, for feeling my pain. The pain is real. The struggle is real. And then Kamara also said, Shonda doesn't write or show run for How to Get Away with Murder. It comes through her production company. So she's saying that Shonda doesn't have a hand in that show as much as she does in Grades and Scandal. And then Shade B says, I have a question. At what point did the writers decide to make Mellie an airhead? Mellie seasons 1 through 3 had brains. What's with this dumb Mellie who thinks she is ready to be president and senator with absolutely no research?
What are you talking about? Mellie from before. This is the same entitled ass Mellie who thinks she is fantastic and has a bright, bright political future ahead of her. This is the woman who called herself a rose dying on a vine in 301 who said, give me the CIA or a war to run. This is the woman who thinks she is just so beyond and can do that. And we haven't seen her do a goddamn thing. All she has is belief in herself and the feeling that she is owed this. And that shit is pissing me off because I'm like, really? Are we really just going to white feminist this shit for Melly? And she just like steps into some destiny of hers because Fitz is trying to be the better man for Olivia. And can we call attention to, once again, Melly motherfucking Grant is getting what she wants because of Olivia. God.
Well, she forever says her favorite parts were let's call his voice, his little smile. Oh, I love him.
Oh my God.
Then I and Sally on the Liberty Report, that was gold. Then the Abby, Fitz, Melly, and Lizzie in the Oval talking about leaking marriage is over. And then she said, hey you guys, my favorite podcast people. And then Lucinda says, oh, well, Lucinda, that was something else. So I personally think that my favorite moments on that episode was really the Cyrus scenes where he did go up for Fitz even though he really did not want to. He did it anyway for the team. And then the other moment for me was when Russell got shot. That was awesome because if you're going to leave this Negro dead on the table, he should be dead, like just dead. It just really got on my nerves. I was like, but he's not dead though. And I enjoyed tremendously Huck punching Jake in the chest. That was great. I was like, oh yes, that was good. So those are my 3 favorite moments of the episode. What would you say moved the storyline forward, and what did you think moved it?
Well, there wasn't actually.
I have a quick question though.
Langston, you go ahead.
My question to Shane is, what exactly is it that you think makes her seem like an airhead all of a sudden?
That makes Melly seem like an airhead?
Yep.
She's not coming off as an airhead. I just
even
said it to Fitz earlier in the season. She was like, "You owe me this."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Melly
She was
is
like, "When is it?"
Everybody else do the work for her.
Heard. Yeah, she's
That's
like, she
what it
thinks
is.
Yeah.
Hand it to her.
Yeah. So when you get around to it, Shane, please answer that question. But my thoughts on the episode, I mean, I actually liked it because for me it was it had a lot of humor in it. You know, from the very beginning, from Quinn's reaction to the sudden chest bang and all of that stuff, and of course this of course coming right off of finding out that Derek Shepherd is the Shondaland character that was being killed off. And then
that kind of ruined it for some people.
They should have been watching. So,
no, I didn't mean spoiler. I meant like coming off such a huge death like that.
They were emotional.
Going into this scandal. Yeah, they were like, yeah.
And so then to come straight in from that into finding Jake's body and then suddenly having him like suddenly bounce back to life, I actually laughed because I was like, Shonda, you bitch. I was like, that was fucked up.
That was a bitch ass move with
to fake everybody out and then all of a sudden bring him right back to life. And and like I did mention this in the scandal group that of course you have to understand that they're trained to slow their heart rate. So that's why Huck hit him in the chest because he knew what he had done. He had slowed his own heart rate to make sure that he didn't completely bleed out. So that much I had already figured out. I had seen that coming, and although Shane was desperately wanting to disbelieve everyone when they kept telling him that he's still alive. Yeah. That's how it's possible. That's how it's possible. But what else? And then then the funnies just kept on coming. Like you guys mentioned earlier about Cyrus and Sally. That whole exchange was hilarious. And then with him totally shutting her down with the whole Daniel situation. And again, the gunshot to the arm, because actually it caught me off guard because I actually thought he had shot him in the heart, which I wish he had.
I would like to know why Shane
kill everybody off the show.
Look, Shane thinks that Jake is Jesus. He said the writer was
right?
like Jesus.
It's the second time they've done a Jesus thing with him.
Somewhere
laying
right?
when he's been injured. They did it in 303 when he was laying in Olivia's bed. The beginning of 303.
Right.
Olivia was like on the floor watching over him like she was Mary Magdalene, and he was laid out in this Jesus-like position with the bed sheets looking like a loincloth over his pelvis and the rest of him naked.
Yeah.
And somewhere there's a blood.
I hate you with the fire of 1,000 suns.
somewhere there's a bloody shroud with his face on it.
Wow.
Yeah,
a bloody shroud.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay, so we got some more interaction on the Q&A here. Shane is just coming for us today. I don't know what to say. So he said,
oh, trust me.
He said, "Oh, Dia, what are you saying, if I may, is that the writers have abandoned the logic associated with the characters in seasons 1 through 3. I have a serious question to the panel. Do you all recognize that?" Yes, we do recognize it, Shane. We're just saying we don't understand where it's coming from. You have to explain this to us.
I don't recognize.
No.
I don't recognize what Shane has said about Melly. I really
No,
don't.
I
don't
mean,
think
and it's
Melly's an extremely consistent character.
right. And instead of him coming back at us with a question, answer the question because you put it out there. So now we're asking you, what is it to you that makes her seem like an airhead to you all of a sudden?
I'd like to know why y'all think y'all can get logic out of Shane.
I'm not even concerned about his logic. I'm just concerned about him giving me an answer to my question since he put it out there.
Why don't we hash
it's
that
coming
out in
up,
Google
so.
Plus? So
It's coming, guys. So then Kamara said, I did love how the scene with Melly, Abby Fitz, and Lizzie Bear went down. I loved how Abby shed light on how things would work if Melly would run for Senate. I do think Fitz knew everything. I think he's going to try to use this as his way through. So she thinks that this is some part of Fitz's master plan. And then she said, isn't that the first time we've seen Daddy Pope actually shoot someone himself?
Yeah.
So she's saying, ooh. And then Shane, I think this may be for you, Langston. He's saying previous seasons, Melly did more fixing. It was methodical, mostly in how she handled Fitz/Olivia. And what she was willing to do.
Did she ever fix anything?
Wait, hold on.
Finish, Elvia.
What she was willing to do is to move here. I think he meant her agenda. Melly season 4 is just sitting back, not demonstrating any mental aptitude to be taken seriously. And then he said, Langston, the point is that Papa Pope sent in the best to kill Jake. So he left, not ensuring that he was dead. He didn't slit his throat. He didn't stab him in the heart. You just stab him in the abs, careful to miss all the organs, really.
He didn't miss all the organs. He nicked his lung, right? Wasn't it his lung? It was something.
Yeah, he got he did. He managed to get him in the lung, but I'm like, why didn't you just like fucking stab him in the heart and then the balls for good measure and just like be done with it? But anyway, can I just say that? Well, two things. This is like, I know you have comments, Eldia, but my partner just like texted me. She says, big up to Langston, an American who can reference the Turin Shroud show. She's very impressed. Langston. Anyway. Shane, and I don't want to go down this rabbit hole with Shane, so just really, Shane, I completely disagree with you about Melly fixing stuff. I want you to name for me one thing Melly Graham has been able to do where she did not require saving from Olivia Pope or associates. Please tell me, what has she done? Every major kind of scheming and plan that Melly has done, including the treason she committed by signing her husband's name to a fake reinstatement letter. Olivia had to save her from that shit. So please tell me how Melly is a fixer. Like, no, you can't. So we could take this on Google Plus like later on, because I will argue with you, but not right now. Anyway.
They have a meme with the former chocolatey, that guy. They have a meme that says, that's right, I'm the worst assassin ever. I think this away.
You know what? I'm so mad at the writers for making him the goddamn worst, because what they're trying to do is elevate Jake's dumbass behind, because he is a terrible fucking spy. You know that scene where he wakes up on the table and he sees Russell and Russell sees him? Do you guys watch Family Guy?
Yeah, I do.
It reminded me of like Peter and the chicken. Like whenever he sees like you have to watch Family Guy to get that reference. Peter Griffin
I'm not religious
and the chicken.
about it,
Yeah, anybody who watches Family Guy knows what I meant. And I kind of just wanted to see them like, I don't know, have a slow motion fight or something and just kill each other, because you're both the worst B613 members.
Well, my favorite scene was as well when Olivia put the gun to the old boy's head at the end. However, I was like, this is a little too late. Like, he damn near almost killed Jake again, and y'all were like steps away. Like, what? I just kind of feel like this was a really poorly executed episode. Honestly, I know Langston said there were moments where it was hilarious to him, but it was hilarious in a sad way, not hilarious in a this shit is too funny. No,
not in an intentional way. I completely agree. This is the problem, right? Right now, there is this. It feels like this chasm between the White House stuff and the OPA stuff. And I can't even call this OPA stuff right now because it's B613 stuff. And I am so beyond not interested in B613 that when Olivia deals with it, it annoys me. It's like I can't even find you compelling because I just want this to fucking die. And so it feels like
didn't you see this lady get murdered from the beginning? Didn't you see that? Yeah, and her grandkids, they're all dead. Like,
also, I feel like
he does not care, Rowan.
But also, I feel like what I mean by I feel like people are doing things out of character. It's like, I'm like you. I think we saw it from the very beginning. We're like, this family's gonna totally end up murdered. So I think it would have been better for me if like when Olivia walked in and saw that, instead of her being like like so shocked, I would have liked for her to like walk in, look around, and be like, okay, yeah, game on, daddy, let's go. Like that, you know what I mean? I didn't get why she was like all of a sudden she was taking it back, and she was like, we can't do it. He's gonna kill us all. And I'm like, did you not think he was gonna do that before? Like you guys cut ties.
Eldia, that part at the end, I think was her fake out, because by then she knew that Russell was the one who was the mole. But I thought it was hella irresponsible of her when Russell, this guy who she doesn't know that he doesn't sing, she doesn't know that he doesn't get drunk like that. She doesn't know shit about him because she knows this Franklin guy. She knows Russell and he knows Alex, right? She doesn't know him. So he's there. You've taken in this stray, and your father played your ass so fucking perfectly. He knows how you are misadopt a stray, and you will come running when these dudes are hurt. And
she's
lying there, and she's talking. They're all talking like willy-nilly about Rowan and B613.
Right.
I was like, writers, you know this is some bullshit that y'all are just trying to like make this. You're just trying to get the plot going, and so you're making this happen, because I can't believe that they would do that. Like, you don't. And Olivia, it shouldn't be put past you at this point to have an emissary in a dick in a box sent into your life because your father did it with the other dude sitting there on the table. Like, come on. Like, are you really kidding me? And so the first time she did it, that wasn't her trying to, like, see who Russell was. No, the second time she did it, when she said, we're shutting this down, this case isn't good, nobody do anything because my father's going to kill us all. That's the part when I was like, okay, she doesn't want anybody to make a move because she's sussed that Russell is the one. As soon as I saw her in that La Perla at the end, I was like, oh no, you're done, because she is not like seducing you in La Perla to like have a comfy night. You are going to die. I don't know, there's something about the negligee that she was wearing and that whole act and performance. I was like, oh, Alex is dead.
Yeah,
this is Olivia, bitch. Like,
but
so
I'm still back
she finally got there.
I'm still back on the family, because she seeing that her gut is no longer broken, she should have known to move those people. The end. I mean, there's no honor among assassins. Like, what are you talking about? So I
don't even think she was like super invested in that case because she was just trying, because it was a favor to get.
But it doesn't
Jake
matter. It's still lives, and those were kids. And then she was just like, what? Like, you should have known. Why did you love him? Like,
I think she was too focused on what she was doing with her father, and he had her distracted with these 2 strays, you know, hanging on for dear life, right? So he knows how to distract her.
But don't you feel like if this is the end game, like I kind of get the character, the purpose that Russell/Franklin is serving, but I feel like if you're gonna wrap this up and this is gonna be your end game, as much as we all dislike Jake, we all have kind of agreed the only time he's semi-tolerable is when he's in a scene with Joe Morton. So it's like, just put them in a room together, let Papa Pope kill his ass, or pretend to want them kill each other, and just get this over with. Like, why do we have to drag it out and play these games and send other people? Like, I think it's at the point we're at, I feel like Papa Pope would just kill him himself.
But how sloppy was it when, at the end, Russell went and had this conversation with Papa Pope outside of a room that Olivia... I was just like, come on. Like,
I think Olivia was supposed to be in the bathroom. I think he was, like, listening out for when she came out. I think that's what it was.
But the thing about it was, we know that she was... We also know that she was in the other room listening, so...
Yeah, because I know for me, if I hear you talking, I'm like... I'm not about to be like... I'm just gonna ignore what you
No, but I think what happens is she acted like she was gonna go freshen up probably in her bathroom. So he was in the hallway outside her bedroom. Her bathroom, I think, is connected. Is it her bathroom connected to her bedroom, or she was someplace else? And he thought he could have that conversation real quick with, well, he's stupid. He couldn't kill Jake, and he has that conversation with Papa Pope. That's more proof that he's a dummy spy. Doing what he did. So that's just more proof in that pudding. But there were little moments of, like, where we had to suspend belief in this episode in order for them to try to make this plot work. But I agree. I want to Rowan is going to kill himself.
Right.
That's what I predict.
Hopefully
he's going to take himself out. And I want him to do it.
Yeah.
Ugh. And I don't want to know what Foxtail is, and it better not go into season 5 because I don't give a goddamn.
Remington and Foxtail. Remington, which for me was never resolved. But I know a lot of people believe it was. I don't think so.
They keep bringing it back up. They keep bringing it back up and stuff. So they just brought it back up last episode, I think. Sweet Treats Forever says very irresponsible of Liv speaking in front. You better not play with me, Sweet Treats Forever. Speaking in front of Jaha's chocolate. She don't know what to do. It's like she had some kind of memory lapse. First of all, that is no longer my chocolate. I divorced myself of that sin. I have my own stash of chocolate, and I'm very good with that. I will not be adopting any more chocolate from this show, or white chocolate, or none of that. I don't want no parts of it.
She's going on a chocolate diet, y'all.
Yes, I am. Thank you, Vanessa. We're not turning this into a Shane show, so Shane, stop sending me.
Yeah, Shane, I know, right?
I love you, but no, we wasted enough time on your outrage, because you was tweeting me since yesterday.
I know.
I read Shane comments since yesterday. So. Okay.
So I'll just jump back in on the Q&A. So Mara said that is true, Shane B. The assassin should be fired. And then she also said, I still say, who is going to keep that boardroom table? People have had sex around it, and now you've had someone literally bleed out on it. How would you want to work on it or eat on it?
Artie Hornbacher stood on it.
And then she said, Foxtail is Liv and her sexual encounters. That's actually pretty funny.
Foxtail?
Foxtail is hilarious.
And then she said, Rowan said that he has killed over 100 men. He knew how many were married and had children. In the past, he didn't kill unnecessarily. I guess now he doesn't care. I guess this is war. This is what war is for Rowan. They just didn't go to the mattresses. They just didn't go to the mattress. Yeah.
Well, he's never going to let Olivia win over him.
Yeah. And then the rest
want him to be connected to her kidnapping. Like, I really want that, because I do not put it past him. Like, I have a whole theory about it, and I'm just like, please, the last 2 episodes, just ramp it up and do that good scandal twisty goodness. I mean, they packed so much shit into the season 3 finale. I was so here for it, and I just hope that these last 2 episodes are the same. Otherwise, I'm going to be disappointed.
Oh, right. Go ahead.
I've come to the conclusion that, I don't know, in the past, at this point, there's been like a build up to the season finale, and this doesn't seem like a build up to anything. I don't know what it is, but it's just not feeling right.
I don't want any anticlimactic B613 is a necessary evil and it should. The thing is, like, I really don't care if the organization like exists as a necessary evil in the Republic. What I want is for Rowan to be eliminated as part of it, and I want Jake to not also be part of it. Like, what the fuck does he even do? He doesn't live anywhere and he doesn't do anything, and that's been true all season. Like, once again, why are you here? Except to just be some foil against, to distract from, like, Olit's not happening this season.
And
which I knew was going to be the case. Like, you're not necessary. Like, you're not a threat or competition. You probably, like, help keep Olivia a little less lonely. Like, that is your only purpose, like, in this narrative. Like, that's it. But I don't want it to be some anticlimactic, do all of this shit, only to, once again, we can't shut it down. Like, y'all tried this in season 3, and it didn't work out because some other things, like, happened. I am really trying to be optimistic and believe that, okay, you guys set up this whole last third of the season to try to wrap up this B613 storyline. Yet, I see tweets from ABC talking about, don't you just love B613? And it's like, no, we don't. You guys have used it as a catch-all where anybody can be part of B613 at any time and any place. It's like a catch-all for where you don't know what to do with people. And the storyline has, like,
suffered.
It's outrun its welcome. Like, I don't care about Olivia when she is messing with B613. She is not compelling to me when she is dealing with B613. I want her to finally, like, shut her father down, since he insisted on coming back after his metaphorical death. It needs to be a literal one, because he will not stop. Only death can, like, stop this, and that's it.
They said that on The Color Purple. Only death can take me from it.
Yeah. Only death can take me from her. Keep me from him. Only death can keep me from her.
Yeah.
Right. Says Shonda showed us how you want a dead character. I'll give you one, just not the one you want. I'll tear your heart out right along with your edges. McDreamy fans cry, joke fans who sigh. Also, Quinn ain't never known what to do around a dead body.
That's not true. She was pretty good at hacking that one up last week.
And then Lucinda says, rest in peace, Daniel Douglas. Love Cyrus for giving it his all in public, even though he thinks Fitz has lost his mind.
Cyrus is always loyal to Fitz. That is, well, I would say always loyal to Fitz, the president. I don't know, he's fucked Fitz the man over a couple times, but he's always loyal to Fitz the president. So whatever he had to do, even if he had to go, defend Mellie, who he does not see it for, on public television, he went and did it.
And then Sweet Treats Forever says, Olivia just needs to stop picking up strays. By the way, die, Jake, die. That's a hashtag for her. So she's clearly serious about it. She put a hashtag to it. So, all right, so you all have a lot of frustration.
You guys?
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, you guys, we're saying this, but do you know there are people out there? I saw some girl on Twitter. I'm not going to say her name, but she was like,
call her out. Say her name.
Tonight, I'm going in on Shonda. I don't care if I get blocked. And these girls who have actually been blocked by Scott Foley because they keep tweeting his ass, who are so pressed for him. And they're more like Foley fangirls than they are fans of Jake, because it's like, what can you say about Jake that is, like, great? Like, he's not Fitz. Like, that's it. Like, that's the best thing that you can say about him. Whatever. But yeah, I'm just saying that there are people out there who completely go up for him and, like, would cry all of the tears in the world if he died. And I just don't get it.
I'll give him a bucket. Here you go.
So we've gotten the JK. Everybody knows it's real. Since LD put a bucket to, we know it's real. So my question is about Sally and the interview that she did with Cyrus. What was your thought about that, and how did you all feel about that interview and the way Cyrus kind of shut it all down at the end? Like, remember, I helped you kill my husband.
I will say this. I feel like Shonda always does a really good job of trying to mirror what's going on in the world at this point. And we all know that, Hillary Clinton has announced that she is going to run for president. And all the, talking heads, it's all about, how do you control Bill Clinton? What do? Do you let him speak? Do you put him in the background? Do you use him? Do you don't use him? Blah, 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 blah. And I feel like Cyrus was pointing that out when he was like, so should first ladies get paid in fried chicken? Like, would you have let Daniel Douglas work? I felt like it was Shonda's way of sort of addressing that, because Mellie wants this really badly, but no one likes her. And she doesn't have the experience, and she doesn't have the trust of the people, and she does, there's a list of reasons why you're like, why is she even running? Like, she isn't qualified. And Cyrus sees that, and Cyrus is like, he even said to Abby, this is what this man will now be known for. It's like, he will be known as the president who supported his wife in a way. You know what I mean? And I love that, because I thought it was a great scene. It was very telling, because Sally was representing the other side of, she was speaking the truth, so to speak, about Mellie. You know what I mean? Like, Sally, knows Mellie. She was in the White House, and she knows how ambitious she can be. And that scene was my favorite for so many reasons, because Cyrus, first of all, he didn't want to be there. So you were like, I was curious as to what he was really going to say. Like, was he going to go in there and be like, well, I gave it the best I could, so sorry, there was nothing I could do. I kind of thought that's how he was going to play it. He was going to be like, there was nothing I could say. It's Mellie. Like, you can't say anything about that. But
Cyrus wouldn't have messed with Scylla like that.
Yeah, he said all the right things. He went in on her, and it was that scene. I would love to see what actually ended up on the cutting room floor for that scene, if that makes sense, because they cut them and edited it. I would love to see what was cut out of that scene, because I bet there was some more great stuff that we didn't get to see between those two.
That scene was just an example of when Scandal works so well. And it's at its best when it is around kind of political intrigue, or using kind of real life things that have happened in politics and taking its own kind of spin on it, right? And those two actors are just, they work so, they do this beautiful kind of dance together with their language. And that scene, started out, and it was like, kind of feigned combativeness underneath, and then it got a little bit fake, and then Sally turned it on him. And the thing is that I think she is partly right, because you guys remember in Put a Ring on It, in the flashback, when his, what was her name, Jane? I can't remember, broke up with him and said she wanted a divorce. That's when he came home to say, hey, we can take this to the Senate. Cyrus wanted to be a senator and then be president. Mellie is now going to, like, waltz into his dream when it all fell apart for him. So he must be feeling kind of bitter. Like, really? The wife of the guy that I supported, who hasn't held a real job in 15 years, who I've had to save, and who's collaborated with me, really, after not doing very much, she's going to get to walk into the job that I should have had when I am so much better than her? I really do think that there is a huge part of Cyrus that feels that way. But he's not going to come out and say it, but I don't know. I'll watch him, because this isn't over yet for Mellie, but we'll see.
Lynn says, I'm hoping you guys jump right into it. What's up with Olivia's treatment of Fitz? No sugarcoating, please. So how did you all feel? Because we talked a lot about
was Jake Olivia doing what with Fitz? I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm repeating it. We talked a lot about Jake and our JK or dislike, and we haven't talked about the actual scene between Olivia and Fitz. How did you all feel about that scene and the conversation that they had? And I know you briefly touched on it, Katrina. So what about you, LD and Langston? What were y'all's thoughts on the scene between Olivia and Fitz?
I liked it. I thought it was, I like sometimes when they can have moments that aren't so high angst or like so emotionally high, if that makes sense. It was like he wasn't calling to like do what he normally does, flirt with her or see if there was like, if the door was cracked open or if the window, it was like you knew he was calling about advice to what to do about Melly. But the way he presented it was what I thought was so interesting, because he did present it like, oh, this is typical Fitz going, they say that, if I'm divorced, blah, 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 blah. And you could tell right away Liv was like,
he didn't say that.
Didn't he? Well, he referenced about how.
No, he didn't even
I don't remember what
he
he
didn't even
said.
mention the divorce. He called and he said, "How are you?" He asked how she was, which, can we remember,
Right.
not even her father asked her how she was in the last episode. Anyway, he asked her how she was, and then she says, like, "Why are you calling me?" He's like, "Well, I didn't think you would pick up." She's like, "Well, I did pick up, so why are you calling me?" And
Right.
she said, "Well, I'm calling to ask your advice about what to do with Melly." And it actually reminded me of when in 309, when Olivia had her mom in that like safe house, and she went outside. She didn't know what to do. She needed a favor. She didn't want to ask Fitz for the favor, the plane, right? Because he would be committing treason.
Right.
And he says, "You're calling me because you don't know what to do." And it was very similar. He didn't know what to do. And she is always his closest advisor. And so he calls her for help because he probably wants to hear her voice. But also, this is likely the first time he's called her since the ring throwing scene. He has not called her to try to edge in or try to pressure her or anything like that. So this is the first time he's called.
I kind of think he may have, like, low key, because when he says, "I didn't think you were going to answer," and she's like, "Well, I did." I kind of think he might have been calling her. She may not have been answering.
You know what? I don't think so, and I'll tell you why. Because in 4:15, remember Olivia kept checking her phone? She was ignoring calls from Abby. She was screening her calls, but she kept looking at her phone. And I thought, well, who are you looking to call? Whose call are you looking for? The only call she could possibly be looking for would be Fitz's, because we saw her answer Jake's call in 4:14, and then she lied to him about working. So wondering if he was going to call, because she's used to him being the first one to call and the first one to break, like always. So that's why I think it's probably, we don't have a confirmation the first time, like he dared to call her because he was in a moment of need and didn't know who else to talk to, and she is the best person to talk to about this kind of thing. And I thought what she said was very typical Olivia Pope, the advice that she gave, because Olivia tries to use her client's kind of perceived weakness and turn it around and make it into their strength, and try to use the truth to work, rather than inventing lies on lies on lies on lies. Obviously, she has done that before, but her preferred way is to like use that weakness and turn it around and use it to your advantage, which is what she did with the whole marriage thing. How that's going to work with if Melly gets elected, how that's going to work with other senators, I really don't see it going down that well, because she's playing it up for Virginians that she has a special advantage, like using her marriage. I'm going to talk to my husband when I get home from work, and just like he talks to me every day. And if I was another senator, I'd be like, bitch, like, no. With that whole, unfair advantage thing. So I hope that this whole marriage angle isn't over yet. She just said so much bullshit in this episode. I had my fill. I don't know.
Langston.
Yeah.
Langston, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
What do you think about the effectiveness of Lizzie and Abby? I almost combined their names. Lizzie and Abby for this episode.
I felt like Abby gave some good advice. I'm not sure what the freak Elizabeth is doing, because I don't know what she's not doing her job, basically. Because the fact that she really didn't have any answers for them when they were trying to strategize and figure out how to make this palatable to the American public. So to me, it felt like Abby had more answers, and maybe Abby needs to be Melly's
campaign manager
as opposed to Lizzie. So I don't know. I'm not exactly sure what they're trying to do with Lizzie anymore, but yeah.
I don't think they know.
She's kind of floating. There's a lot of stuff that's kind of floating right now.
I don't think they know, because when Portia was brought on, wasn't she was not supposed to be like much every episode, right? You know what I mean?
Ellen just told her to get a job, and she just
keeps showing up every day like,
I'm coming. Any extra lines, any of them.
But you know what I mean? I thought when she was first hired, she was brought on, I thought it was supposed to be like a 4 to 5 episode stint, but she's clearly been on much longer than that. So I agree with Links. It makes me wonder if they don't now know what to do with the character, because it's like, you know, there's a couple characters where I'm like, I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what purpose you're serving. And if we as the fans are asking those questions, then I don't know how the writers are coming up with what they're coming up with. You know what I mean? It's like, are they asking that question, or are they just writing just to be writing? You know what I mean? It's like,
they should have put her on the couch next to that murdered lady that KGB agent. That's what she should have been.
Oh, can I just briefly, and I promise briefly, go back and answer, what was it, Lynn, somebody's question about what's up with Olivia's treatment of Fitz, because I feel like I went on and say, I want to say that for me there was a bit of progress there, and Olivia is just like, she's thinking that for her to do better and to be a better person and get on with her life, that staying away from Fitz is just going to be the right thing to do. And for her to do that, she's like putting up this cold front in order to do that, because if she lets in any warmth, she crumbles. You know how she is around him and with him, right? And I love that she couldn't deny. He was so, oh God, he was so sweet. He was like, okay, well, thank you for answering the phone. Good night. And she relented. She was like, okay, you know, and she gave her advice. I think she just wanted to be the one to hang up the phone, but whatever. There was some
petty like that.
There.
So yeah. Women, we petty like that. Langston, because
yes.
I'm dragging you back all up in this. So what do you think about? He's so quiet. Yeah,
I know.
What do you think about the end statement that Cyrus made to Abby about the legacy of Fitz's presidency?
What was that? What did you say before that?
I asked, what do you think about that at the end, where Abby was standing for Olivia. She's like, that's Olivia right there. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, that's Olivia. I know her moves. That's my girl. Hey, I know her since the womb, chick. So she was all doing the crip walk for Olivia. She was excited. And then Cyrus was like, oh, I'm glad you like that. But I'm glad you like that. But she's really crumbling. Well, what just happened is really taking away from the legacy of Fitz's presidency. So what do you think about that statement and how the situation with Melly is going to affect that?
Again, I think that Cyrus's jealousy is showing through. I don't think, you know, I get what Abby and also what Olivia were trying to get across, is that by making it seem as though Melly is has the ear of the president. Now, I agree with Katrina, the fact that the way that she said it with that little up cheer voice, talking about, oh well, I'll talk to my husband, blah blah blah. That did kind of come off the way that Cyrus said it did, as though the president is whipped. But I don't think that that's the legacy that he's going to leave behind, because if Cyrus feels that that's all that he's going to leave behind, then what have you been working for the past 6 years now?
5 years.
Well, actually longer than that. All the way back from when he was governor. So you've been working all of this time, and you think that's really all that's going to be left of his legacy just because of that one moment? I don't agree with him, but I do see where he could get it. I just don't agree with him on that.
I feel very similarly, Langston.
Yeah.
All right, so we have some final comments to read, and then we are about to head off into the After Dark. If you want to also join us in the After Dark, well, it's coming up to the end of the season, so I don't recommend you try to join us, and then, you only got like 2 episodes. But the After Dark URL is dramaqueenbooks.com/support. Yeah, my whole brain just went on a good fart. So Annette Annie 340 says Sally, her favorite moments were Sally and Cyrus, Oleg's phone call, and Liv checking Russell with the gun. He should have known better than to screw with the Pope. I like that.
Well, he
should have known better to screw with the Pope. And then Sweet Trees Forever says that B613 just needs to be shut all the way down. And she's like, handle it. And then the next comment she makes is, yes, Cyrus don't like that at all. Sally hit it on the head when she said that to him. Somehow I think he might try to undermine her. She loved the fact that he sensed something was wrong when Olivia talked to Fitz. The little smile at the end, she says she thinks she wanted to hear his voice too. And it looks like Fitz is more open to Abby's opinion than Lizzie's. Could be that because she was Liv's right-hand girl. Mm-hmm. I honestly don't think that B613 needs to be shut down, personally. I believe that it should become the elite assassin organization that it was supposed to be, that handles the boogeyman stuff in the dark that we need the organization to handle. Because every nation, I believe, has a B613. I just don't think they should be so far out in front in the plot line.
Right. Yeah. It should be like Charlie said.
Yeah,
like Charlie said, you don't have me, I have me. You know what I mean? Like,
Remember we were talking about that, how Charlie has no loyalty to anybody but Charlie. He's like, I'm going to survive. I don't care. It'll be me and the cockroaches here because Charlie's not going to die.
He's like,
don't drag Quinn into this shit.
Yeah, he was like, you don't even qualify for the healthcare plan. That was so funny. What
I liked about that moment, too, was that he took up for Quinn. Like, he was like, oh, no. You will not get her involved in this. He was protecting her. I was like, what if Charlie got a little bit of feelings? Even Huck was like, if you know a way to get a hold of Charlie, you know a way to get a hold of Charlie, you need to do it now. She's like, hold this vein while I this squirting vein. So, yeah. There's some more comments. Go ahead, LD. I'll let you
do this. So Kamara says, I think that Cyrus was right in the end, that it would ruin the president's last term. I do think that Cyrus would make a great senator because look how he believes in a lot of what Fitz stands for.
But honestly, that doesn't.
But Cyrus is way darker than
Fitz.
I think I read that one. Rowan, I read that one.
See, you would know if you read it. I selected him and clicked done. I'm sitting over here doing it. She's like, I'm gonna let y'all do that one, girl, because I ain't about to.
The other ones are all from Shane, so I'm gonna read them, but no one is to react nor respond. Okay. So he says, Katrina, say what you will, we are on the same page. The writers are being lazy. That is my point. I predict the entire episode from the point at which Jesus got off the table. I think he means Jake. I even know how the season will end. Did you all catch the previews? Then he says, guess what, Katrina? Get ready for Jake. You know who, the guy who walked on water to become the new male lead on Scandal. He cannot be stopped or killed. This episode sucked for shit. And then he said, prediction, Jake the Saint from heaven will kill Rowan in the finale with Olivia holding her father's hand to the death. These writers suck and it stinks. And then he said, Jake the Saint is completely healed, given advice to whack-ass Brent a spy Russell. These writers are shit times 2. They suck. And then he said, is it possible that Fitz and Olivia have a pact? Kamara is saying this. She says, is it possible that Fitz and Olivia have a pact? This includes making Mellie a possible senator. And then Shane B says, preach, Katrina.
Okay, so Sweet Trees Forever asked this final question from us. She says, what do you think about Mellie saying we came in as a team, we go out as a team? The look Fitz gave and Mellie's expression.
That was the height of bullshit for me. I wanted to throw something at my screen.
Because it proves the point. They didn't come as a team. It was like he gave it that look like, are we not going to mention that you rigged the election without telling me? Like, it was like, It was I can't with the Melly nonsense. I feel like last year it was all pro Melly, and not that they've been so pro Melly this season, but I'm like Katrina. I can't. I'm like whatever.
Melly stands are gonna be pro Melly wherever, and I'm sorry, like however this sounds, but I keep telling people, like journalists that write about this show, writers that write about this show. These professional white women are going to, not that they're professional at being white, I'm just saying white women who are professional. They're going to find themselves, some of them are professional at being white, but they're going to find themselves in the narrative through Melly Grant, right?
Right.
And elevate her because they have the platform to do so. And for me, Melly is like, I don't know, she's an interesting character to me. She's not a character that I hate. I see through a lot of her bullshit. Like, I can't say that I hate her, but she is a frustrating character to me. And Melly's one of those characters who never takes responsibility for anything. It's always somebody else's fault, and somebody else wronged her, and somebody else owes her a favor to do something for her, and she always sacrifices for somebody else, right? That is her whole entire life, and it probably stems from when her father left her, and her whole spectacular, I am spectacular ideology unfolded from there. But no, when she said that, I was like, really, Melly? Are you serious? Like, this revisionist Melly, which is what Fitz called her in 404. He's like, I will not put up with whatever revisionist, Melly is going on right now. And he's so completely right. Like, episode to episode, season to season, Melly is going to say and repackage the past in her favor at that given moment. This is who this woman is. And, like, people need to suss that about the character. So it's not that, are the writers trying to make us believe that blah, blah, blah? No, honey. They are writing for this character. And this is who this character is. Filled with a lot of bullshit and no sense of personal responsibility. That's right.
Give us a final word, Winston. Give us a final word.
Well, I just have to say, I don't know if anybody caught the reference, the nod to Harlem Nights at the end.
No.
Yeah. Olivia straddling Russell at the end and putting the gun to his head.
What scene, Burdett?
The final scene.
No, who did that in Harlem Nights?
Say what?
That was
Jasmine Guy, and Eddie Murphy.
Old girl.
And ultimately he ended up blowing her head off as opposed to her blowing his off.
She had that gun under her pillow.
But I will say my concern right now is I get that Russell is the worst B613 spy ever, but he also has more training than Olivia, so I question Olivia's straddle technique, because although she may have her thumb in his bullet wound, if he has even the slightest bit of training, he could toss her off and take control of the gun. So I'm very interested. Well, of course, he probably wouldn't do anything because he knows he's a dead man if he
because that's still Olivia. His boss's daughter.
If he harms her in any way. And maybe that's her end game right there. She knows he won't harm her, so therefore, and plus also having the gun.
Doesn't she say that in the preview to Jay? Like, my father would never hurt me, like physically, and she said that to him before.
I think that's what she says to him in the preview for next week.
And she said it before to him.
Yeah, she said it before, but of course she let Jake get inside her head and make her believe that he still could.
Yep.
But I'm assuming that's the game there, is that he knows that if he harms her, he's a dead man. So that's probably the only reason he didn't toss her across the room. Excuse me. But yeah, that I caught that little nod to Harlem Nights. Other than that, overall, I just thought the episode had some ups and downs and some funny moments that were definitely, But I did have problems with the KGB situation, because I was like, Well, I honestly, I just thought, what was the point? I didn't get it. So
like spy organization to spy organization.
yeah,
Like if
and I'm
anybody,
assuming that the point too was to that obviously somebody has a contract out on Papa, and that must be because I mean, for what other reason would he need to have send someone to kill this woman unless he knew something that we apparently don't. So we'll see.
or he was just trying to get back at Olivia for daring to try to get KGB to put a hit out on him.
True. But the question is, but the question is who was she supposed to be? Who was she supposed to be killing? And it had to have been somebody pretty important for them to drag her, for them to drag her out of years of retirement.
Yeah,
I mean, to the
Black
point
Sable.
that she's been so retired that she has had children and grandchildren, and now, and now it's bad enough that her son and daughter were killed in a crash, but then you're going to kill their children too. There's just
that was messed up.
So what are your final thoughts on this episode, Katrina?
It was better than the horrid 218, but that's not saying very much. I am happy that I got some Olitz contact. Very happy about that. They're just like a beating heart for me. And I need for that union, and I don't necessarily mean romantically because I don't really, like I said, I didn't have expectations of that coming into this season. But I would like to see contact and some kind of, for them to repair this rift or finally be able to talk to each other, because for me, that's when the show works really well. And like I said, I'm not talking about their romantic relationship. That's when when things between them when there is some kind of chemistry with them and some kind of communication, it binds the two kind of sides together of the show. And right now, it just doesn't really feel like that's happening very much. And so long as Olivia is off on this like B613 journey, it feels like sometimes like I'm watching two different shows. And so I want the show to be tight again the way it used to be. They've had some really great moments overall in season 4, and for me, I feel like the first half of season 4 was more even than this last one. But this episode had a lot of annoyances, and I will fully confess that because there was a lot of focus on B613 and sympathy for Jake Ballard, I did not find it a very compelling episode. And Mellie Grant got way too easy a ride for my taste, so I was annoyed through much of it. And I thought it was just me being in a really bad place this morning and for most of the day, but it seems like it's not just me. Some other people feel the same way.
And Eldia, what are your final thoughts, ma'am?
Yes, it wasn't the worst episode, but it definitely won't go down as one of my favorites. I felt like it was kind of messy. I felt like it was kind of all over the place. We talked about it. There's moments, there was scenes that I liked, but yeah, I'm not my favorite by a long shot. So I just hope the next 2 episodes get rid of B613 and tie everything together, because if not, it's going to be a really long summer.
All right.
If we are coming back with this in season 5,
Yeah.
Do we have any final comments from the audience?
There will be no blog if there's a B613 focus in season 5. I will tell you that right fucking now.
We do not have any new comments.
Yeah.
All right. So thank y'all for joining us for this episode. We are going into the After Dark. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.